Mic check. All right, y'all. Is King James guilty of adding to the Bible? Is King James guilty of adding to the Bible? Let's get this started, y'all. Let me share it. Let me share it a couple places here. Put a couple polls out there. All praises, honor, and glory. Mic check, mic check. Make sure my mic is good. Audio, visual. Soundboard.
Way worse. You follow that. You follow him.
All right, y'all. Excuse me. Let's get a quick poll going. All right. All right. Got a quick poll going. All right, we're going to leave that open, and then we're going to come back here. Let me share my screen. All praises, y'all. Is King James guilty of adding to the Bible? Let's get this screen share going too. All right. Where should we start at, y'all? Where should we start at? All right, before we get started, y'all, let me, it is so cold in this house. All right, so my audio and visual is good. Amen, amen, amen. All praises. Let me put a link in the chat too real quick. Let me put that link in the chat. Let me put that link in the chat. This is for if Hassad is coming on. Actually, you know what? I'll send this directly to Hassad here. Link in the WhatsApp. Hopefully we don't get no audio issues like we did last time. But we're about to get started, y'all. Make sure you like and share the video. Like and share the video. How crazy is it that, for one, though, the title is King James guilty of it? King James himself did not translate anything, first of all. He commissioned 70 scholars, and they did the translations, comparing the earlier manuscripts from in the Hebrew, Greek, and Latin into English. Into the English. We're going to go into it, y'all. We got internal evidence and we got external evidence. We just want to look at the data, and then we'll make a conclusive answer to the question. Give a conclusive answer to the question. Let me share this a couple more places. Let me share this a couple more places and a couple more faces. Big G's, not the little ones, you already know.
Genesis.
All praises. Y'all already know it's always big G's and not the little ones. Always big G's. Somebody said you should do a call-in show. We usually allow people to click the link. Hassad, check your WhatsApp. We allow people to click the link. Octavia, that's what we do. Altavia, are you a sister? You got smoke?
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boy.
The sister say she got smoke. If I'm talking like my jaws are clenched, y'all, like I popped a molly, it's not a molly, it's dentistry. It's dentistry. Jaw clenching like I popped a molly, I'm sweating. All right, I'm gonna share this one more place. All right, we got Hassad on here, but I'm gonna have to put my hold on a second. Hold on, Hassad. Okay, there we go. Say something. Why do we hate? I know, Hassad. I know what you're gonna say. What in the world is going on? Let me turn it up here. Hold on, y'all. We're gonna get him on here. Okay, so it says collab 1, Hassad. There we go.
Mic check.
Okay, there you go.
There's an echo.
Let me put my earplugs. We have to master this StreamYards if we want
I'm way worse.
if we want our soundboard. Okay.
People are saying that they want to be able to call in. They don't want to hit the link and stuff. They want to be able to call in.
Do you have a
Should I just give y'all my number? I'll be getting so many phone calls from people I don't know.
I can give them this number. I can give them the camp phone.
Nah.
Okay. Any echo on your end from me?
Nah, we sound good.
All right, you get over here too. All praises. As long as you don't start screaming and yelling, I think with that monotone, with those decimals, it should be good. Oh, she don't want to show her face, so we'll put a call in.
I'm making a text now number right now.
Yeah, we'll put a call in. What does the poll say? Let's take a look at the poll. It's 50-50, Hassad. Some people were saying, no, he didn't add. When I say by he, meaning the version of the Bible he authorized, because, again, he did not translate anything. So it was 50-50. It's
all right.
even. Y'all going to learn today. All praises. Okay, we got a call in before we get started. I guess we're going to do a call in. I don't know. Maybe we should do the call in after.
We could take that during, I think, during the whole show. Captain Zaryak, you taking so much of our stuff. Now I'm taking one of your ideas. All right, we're doing the call-in show.
That's right. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the comments. The comments are saying, but wait, where? Just get a burner. Yes. What if Jake start doing what conservatives do? Set up a table and mic where the real Jews prove me wrong. What was that?
My phone, that's already half broken.
That was a loud crash.
Oh,
Hassad's phone crashed out.
Hold on, y'all. It's all good. Look at this. Now I got lines in it.
Hey, you're right. This you didn't have lines in it prior to that?
No, I didn't. I'm playing.
You follow that.
Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. I can't hear none of the soundboard.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the title. Let's get to the topic first. Somebody says King James added and took away from Scripture. Again, it isn't King James. I know I titled it like this, but it isn't King James himself. It is the 70 scholars that he commissioned to do the translation of the earlier manuscripts. All right. He said, I got to change my answer. No, didn't understand the poll. Did King James add to the Bible? Yes or no? All right. I'll leave that poll up there for a little bit longer. So, again, y'all, not King James himself, but King James 70 scholars he commissioned to translate the earlier manuscripts. There were some things. Got to go about this the right way for people who worship King James. If you guys didn't know, there is a theological position, a doctrinal position, that the KJV is the unadulterated, not ineffable,
Infallible.
infallible word of God. Okay, it's more authoritative than the ancient manuscripts in which they got it from. We're not going off of italicized words, but one could actually argue that as well. The italicized word are adding to the ancient manuscripts. So yes, you have to go there. Now let me get some of those examples. Like the speaking in tongues. Speaking in tongues, you have, this is why you get the Christian church under demonic activity when they say they're speaking in tongues, because of something that's italicized in the KJV translation. Let me find it. Speak for a second, Hassad.
Yeah, and we're not. I want to make sure that this is understood too. I just got out the phone. If the brother's watching, shout out to the brother. I just got out the phone. Priest be sending me some of the prospects that we have that want to join our camp, and every now and then he'll send me a brother that's in my area or at least somewhere close. This particular brother, we're just debating for an hour and a half, and he says, "Well, brother, see, the reason why you're confused is because you're reading versions outside of the King James Bible." And I said, "Oh, really? So you must celebrate Easter." "No." "Okay, well, Acts 12 celebrated Easter." And there's a lot of, let me say this. There are some problems with the King James Bible. I don't want to blow it out of proportion, but I will say this. No translation is perfect. All right, I'm just going to give that to you guys straight. There are no perfect translations of the Bible. They just simply not exist. There are thoughts and things in Hebrew that are very difficult to translate into a language like English. So with that being said, that does not mean that we throw out the King James Bible. That does not mean that you throw out any translation of the Bible. But what is important to understand is how we got these Bibles, what they are and what they are not. And what the King James Bible is a very good translation of manuscripts that were available to the people 600 years ago, 400 years ago, rather. What it is not is the infallible word of God.
Right. That
is not what it is. And we're not going to take this opportunity to just ish on the King James Bible, but this is why it's important. If for no other reason than this, we do not speak in the way in which people spoke 400 years ago. We don't even speak in which the way the people spoke 100 years ago. So why would you solely rely on a text that uses words like peradventure? When was the last time any of us have said the word peradventure? I would have gone to the gym, peradventure I didn't, roll my ankle. Or I don't know. You get the point. There are words in there that we just don't use. Not only that, but again, couple that with the fact that there are, there's errors in it. Some small, some much bigger than others, but errors nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm highlighting. Hassad is talking about like things that weren't bad intentions.
Yeah.
I'm highlighting this class the bad intentions. You understand? I'm highlighting the bad intentions. What does that mean? Things that his scholars added in here to perpetuate and propagate that wicked religion, Christianity. That's what we're highlighting today. Not just, oh, well, they couldn't understand that word. No, I'm talking about things that were inserted in here to influence and perpetuate Christianity. Why? Because King James was a Christian, believed in hell and the Trinity and the virgin birth and all of that comes with Christianity. So, of course, every translation by definition is interpretation.
Exactly. Put a G in the chat if you understand that. Every translation is by definition an interpretation. Because the translators rather themselves, they have a preconceived notion about what they're getting ready to translate. So if there's ever a conundrum where, well, my preconceived notion believes that I should translate it like this versus someone else's preconceived notion may translate it like that, they're going to go with whichever one is typically better suited to what their already believed doctrine is. So we have to. This is why we compare translations, and we got to go to the original manuscript. So
right.
All praise to the Most High.
That's what's important. I'm so glad you said that. As we're about to get started, what's more important than any of these modern translations? You're supposed to do comparative translations, of course, but refer back to the ancient manuscripts and compare those as well. That's how we get the best understanding when it comes to our heritage, the scriptures that we wrote down. You understand? So now let's go to the very original preface of the 1611 King James Bible. And let's just see what they said, if they had to add some things or take away from some things. This is if any of you guys got the original 1611 KJV, you can see this in your preface page. All right, let's go down to the translators to the reader. They wanted you guys to know that this isn't infallible and this isn't, well, they could be double talking, but I'm just going to highlight a place where it's showing you this is what we call limited inerrancy. I'm going to show you guys. So when we go down to 1, 2, 3. All right, right here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. All right, now. So King James, again, those scholars, they are taking from the Latin Vulgates, the codexes, and the Hebrew manuscripts, and they're translating it into English. Look what this says here. Let me highlight this. I'm gonna highlight this right here. Not everything. We'll just do it like that. All right. So we're gonna start at where it says yet. It says, yet for all that, as the Egyptians are said of the prophet to be men and not God. So what they're saying is, somebody says, adjust my mic. All right. Hopefully that's better. All right. Hopefully that's better. Mic check, mic check. All right, y'all. Oh, that's a scoffer. A scoffer and a scorner who will soon one day be a mourner. Bars. So look what it says. So they're saying that the translators who were translating the ancient manuscripts, in particular here the LXX, the Greek Septuagint, they're saying that these guys were men and not prophets. Drop a bomb. He's saying that the 70 Israelites who translated the Hebrew scriptures to the LXX, in which that's such a horrible translation because we made a holiday for mourning after we translated our Hebrew scriptures to Greek. It says that they were men and not prophets, and their horses flesh not spirit. So it is evident, and Saint Jerome affirms as much. Saint Jerome is the one who is authorized and who was over the composition of the Latin Vulgate. That the 70 were interpreters. They were not prophets. They did many things well as learned men, but yet as men, they stumbled and fell. Now, this is just going into translational errors, not inserting things for doctrinal purposes. But still, nevertheless, it's true. It says, yea, sometimes they may be noted to add to the original, and sometimes take from the original. So they're saying that they're working with ancient manuscripts where they could have added, not could have, that they did, that they added to the original and took away from the original. So now they're coming 2,000 years later to correct it.
You follow him?
So, you know, one of the elders who I deem near and dear to me, I'm not going to say his name. He said one time a profound statement. He said, they can try to tamper with our literature as much as they want, but they can never tamper with the minds of the elect. This is why Yahweh Shai said that some are going to be deceived, but the elect, that they might deceive the very elect. So the minds of the elect cannot be deceived, won't be deceived. Even if they try to manipulate, alter, or sometimes without wicked intentions, you know, our manuscripts have errors, even historical inaccuracies. Every ancient manuscript has historical inaccuracies. That's just how it goes. Editorial work, copies of a copy, literature gets burnt in conquest, so on and so forth. So it says, which made the apostles to leave them many times when they had left the Hebrew. So it's saying that once our scriptures were translated into these different languages, some of us didn't even deal with it. And this is where we get a lot of oral tradition now. Oral tradition. Somebody said the Muslim apologists are loving you now, priest. Nah, listen, we got 101 contradictions in the Quran. So this is not going to be good for them. So it says this, when they left Hebrew, and to deliver the scene thereof according to the truth of the word, as the Spirit gave them utterance. This may suffice touching the Greek translation of the of the Old Testament. Anything else, Hassad? You want to speak on that?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right. So now I want to talk about absolute inerrancy versus limited inerrancy. The distinction between the absolute and limited inerrancy lies in the extent to which the Bible is considered free from error. If you believe that, you're very naive. If you believe that, you are a naive individual. There's absolute inerrancy. That means zero errors. Then you're going to get busted upside of the head, whether you go to a translation or an ancient manuscript. I'm sorry to say, this is why there's a theological field called what, Hassad?
Textual criticism.
Textual criticism. So it says absolute inerrancy affirms that the Bible is free from error in all matters, including science and history, while limited inerrancy affirms that the Bible's inerrancy is limited to redemptive matters. This means that while the Bible is considered inherent in its redemptive teachings, it may contain errors in other areas such as science and history. The debate over inerrancy is significant within evangelism. But that is, so you don't want to, and I'm not going to tell you guys what to do, but it would be smart of you. It would behoove of you to never put yourself in the box of absolute inerrancy, because you're going to get absolutely destroyed.
Somebody's going to ask you, how old was this king when he began to reign? One verse is going to say he was 42. One verse is going to say he was 22. And you're going to say, well, boom. You see what I'm saying? Which priest was the priest when which emperor was the emperor? There are some minor discrepancies within the text. But again, none of this take away from the message. Like when they talk about all these variants that exist within the Bible, I remember Bart Ehrman, matter of fact, when he had a debate with James White, said that within the New Testament, there are more variants. Was it the New Testament? I think specifically, he said there are more variants than there are words. But when you look at like 90-something% of said variants, it's like spelling Isaiah with an extra A or an extra I. It takes away from none of the meaning of the text. So, but there are, again, like I just mentioned, there are some impactful variations.
All right. So now let's get into some of the additions of the King James, some of the adding into the King James that were where the reasoning behind it is to influence or to propagate Christianity, right? Watch. 1 Corinthians 14:2. Now, the Christian church will tell you that when they speak in tongues, it's yabba dabba doo, shit about a Honda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, whatever the hell. They say that we know that it literally means just speaking another language. But in the KJV, he has these italicized words that they added in to influence a particular doctrine of speaking in tongues. When the Bible simply says the miracle was a person, for example, who speaks English, never took Rosetta Stone or any class on Japanese, and he gives his life to Christ, the Holy Spirit falls on him. The evidence of that is him speaking in another language fluidly that he's never studied before. But because of the KJV, you have the Christian church saying, no, when we say yabba dabba doo, abu abu abu, abu rabi, abu rabi, abu rabi, that's power from the Holy Spirit. Why? Because of this italicized word here in 1 Corinthians 14:2. For he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto God. For no man understandeth him, howbeit in the spirit he speak mysteries. It's not an unknown tongue. It is another language. So when you go into other translations, which a lot of people criticize, these modern translations fix a lot of these. Even the New King James, look, it doesn't have unknown there. Now, I will say this. A lot of the New King James does correct the Old King James.
It does.
Shout out Brother Garfield in the chat.
I don't even think, does the New King James have 1 John 5:7?
I'm not sure, but we're going to go there. So,
okay,
you can look, but as we go there.
I got you.
So it says, for he who speaks in a tongue. For if you have the ability to speak in tongues, this isn't nothing about some unknown tongue that you see in these Christian churches that was going on 500 years ago. That is a demon on people. Speaking in tongues is actually the power to sporadically, spontaneously speak in another language. And they will know, wow, he is speaking in Syriac. He's speaking in the Archaic. He's speaking in Akkadian. He's speaking Coptic. He's speaking Aramaic. How is this Galilean speaking in these languages That is the power of the Holy Spirit causing us to speak in tongues back in those days in that dispensation. Put a G in the chat if you understand. But because of the KJV inserting that word unknown, now you have this doctrine where your mama and daddy is, and grandma and grandpa is in the church acting like they speaking in some tongues. Put a G in the chat if you understand. All praises. All right. Did you have something on that, or we're going to keep going?
No, let's keep going.
All right. Another one is Isaiah 14:2. Do you guys know that the King James Bible is an English translation? Everybody should know that, right? It's an English translation. Then why is there a Latin word in the English translation? Oh, well, it could just be, giving credit and honor to Jerome in the Latin Vulgate. That's all King James is doing, is giving honor to the Latin Vulgate, which he's translating from. No. Lucifer is a Latin word. Lucifer is a Latin word. And in truth, Lucifer is not even in the Latin Vulgate. I don't believe it is. Is it? It could be. I think it came in the later Vulgate editions. Okay, yeah, it is in the, okay. Yep. It is in the Latin Vulgate. So yeah. So is he keeping this Latin word in here just to give props to Jerome? Or did King James, did his scholars put that word Lucifer in there when it's really just supposed to be morning star or shining star? Instead, they put a Latin word Lucifer. You know why? Because the doctrine was already in circulation that Isaiah 14:12 was dealing with the fall of Satan. So yes, King James in his Christianity and his scholars, who were also a part of Christianity, would put a Latin word in Isaiah 14:12 to continue to perpetuate the false doctrine of Satan falling from heaven and saying that is spoken of in Isaiah 14:12.
Shut your black mouth. Genesis.
Wow. These ones are bad intentions. So look at the other translation. Now, here we go again. The other translations, they correct this. They're like, even though they still may believe Satan is falling from heaven, they wouldn't use, I don't believe the modern translations would use Isaiah 14. They would go to Revelation chapter 12. You understand? But look at the other translations. They actually fix this. Oh, no, the New King James didn't fix this. But look at the NLT. How are you falling from heaven, O shining star? Because it's the Hebrew word Hallel. So if King James and his scholars, if his scholars are going through the Hebrew, all right, I'm going to translate that to English. I'm going to translate that Hebrew word to English. I'm going to translate that Hebrew word to English. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But then he says, I'm going to translate this Hebrew word to Latin, because that doctrine of Lucifer being Satan was so heavy and prominent during the time of King James in his translation of the 1611. But look at these other translations. They do what they're supposed to be doing. Translated from Hebrew to English. The NLT, the NIV, Morning Star. The ESV, Old Day Star. The CSB, Morning Star. The NASB 20, Star of the Morning. It's that simple. But because of his theological position, he made sure that the doctrine of Lucifer found its way inside the KJV Bible. Let me read some of this history. So as you can see on my screen, To see why Lucifer appears in the KJV as it does, we need to look at the layers of the translations. Now, we see in the Hebrew is Hallel, shining one or morning star. The original context is comparing a proud king to a bright star, not obviously a demonic figure. The Septuagint has Heosphorus, dawnbringer, light bearer. The Greek translator already personify the star imagery. Then you have the Latin Vulgate that translates this as Lucifer. Jerome adopted Lucifer as the Latin equivalent to Heosphorus, which is true. Over time, though, Lucifer in Latin Christian tradition became associated with Satan's fall.
Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching.
So even with the Latin Vulgate, they weren't initially teaching that Lucifer is equivocal to Satan. That came later. Early Christian writers and church fathers, many Western Christian writers interpret Isaiah 14 and 12 also as being the fall of Satan. Tertullian attributes it 14 and 14 to Satan. Origen also sees passages like this as spiritual applicable to Satan. And then you see the KJV. Anything on that aside?
No.
We do have the call in the chat. We got the number in the chat, so y'all could call in at any point and give some questions, comments, or smoke. We're gonna put that in the chat.
The number is, my bad.
Go ahead.
It's 919-646-4536. Again, that's 919-646-4536 for anybody that would like to call in, ask a question, or got some smoke for us. So we'll put that number in the chat.
All right, so the next addition, due to doctrinal beliefs, is Easter. Why is Easter in here? Why is Easter in the King James, as Hassad pointed out earlier? Acts 12 and 4. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to the four quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. We literally have Easter in the KJV. But again, when we look at other translations, they fix that. I think the New King James fixes it. Look at the New King James says Passover, because that's what's in the Greek. Why would you take a Greek word that says Passover or Pascha and translate that into the English word Easter? Well, we know why. Easter is a pagan goddess that Christianity incorporated into its religion. And we got the sources on that. Everybody should know that. But look at the other translations. They fix it. The New King James fixes it. The NLT says Passover. The ESV says Passover. The CSB says Passover. The NASB, the LSB, all these, they amplify it. Passover, 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 Passover. So now it's translated. What is it? This word is mentioned 30 times. 30 times. So it's mentioned 29 times in the Bible. 28 times, look at the inconsistency. 28 times, it's Passover. One time, it's Easter. How and why? Oh, we know why. Why is this not letting me, one second. How do I do that? I could have swore that. Oh, there we go. My bad, y'all. It's Streamlabs. How consistent is that in scholarly work? Oh, 30 times this word is used. We're going to translate it to Passover. Because in the Greek, it's what? You guys can see it. Look at Pascha. How you say Passover in Greek? Pascha. And we know what time it is. We know what he was on. We know what he believed. We know he was a Christian. So now you have the pagan roots Ishtar, Astar or Eostra. The English word Easter comes from Eostra or Ostara, a pagan spring goddess of fertility, which is why you get the eggs on Easter. Renewal and dawn celebrated in Northern Europe long before Christianity, but even earlier in Babylon, the goddess Ishtar, pronounced Easter, was worshipped as queen of heaven. She was associated with fertility, eggs, and rabbits, ancient symbols of reproduction. Then you had the Roman substitution, where they said, you know what, we're not going to be keeping the Passover. We're going to keep Easter around that same time, just to mock the Jews. Look at this quote from Constantine. Let us have nothing in common with the detestable, I can't even say this, with the detestable Israelites. We will celebrate our own festival on a different day. You understand? So that is another thing that we see inserted in here, not just accidentally, but with a purpose, and a purpose to perpetuate that white supremacist cult known as Christianity. You understand that? Now, again, this is just a few things, but these are the biggest things. These are the biggest things. And so after this, there's not really anything that's alarming. This one right here. Hassad, you want to take this one?
Yeah, the whatchamacallit is still loading. I can't see anything.
Oh, okay. Salakia. So 1 John 5 and 7, the Johannine comma, which is an addition, not necessarily an addition, but he put it in the KJV. Why? He was Trinitarian. So 1 John 5 and 7 says, for there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost, and these three are one. That's 1 John 5 and 7. But look at this in other translations. Look at this in other translations. The Spirit, the water, and the blood, all three agree. Wait a second. My bad, wrong one. So 1 John 5 and 7 in the KJV, look at all these words here. For there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost, and these three are one. But then look at the other translation. So we have these three witnesses. For there are three that testify. For there are three that testify. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 words. There's supposed to be 6 words only on 1 John 5 and 7. 6 words only. But when you get to the KJV, for there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. We got to try to make the Trinity real.
Yeah.
We got to try to make the Trinity real.
And even if you look at the New King James Version, in the footnotes, it'll say only, I'm reading it, it says only 4 or 5 very late manuscripts contain these words in Greek. That's the Father, the Word, and the Holy Spirit. It just says there are 3 that testify. So these are very late manuscripts that were then added. Now you have to ask it begs the question, why are these manuscripts added here? Why did they do this? Well, because again, King James was a Christian. King James believed in the Trinity, and King James had his translators. They believed the same thing, and in turn, they would then translate things and add things according to what they believed prior to, which is the Trinity. And no, I'm not even going to say that right now. You know, I was getting ready to say, Deacon, about King James.
I don't know, but if we're locked in, I might have it pulled up.
Okay, let's go ahead.
So 1 John 5:7 is called the Johannine comma, also called the comma Johanneum. Refers to a short Trinitarian phrase found in 1 John 5:7-8, but only in certain later manuscripts. So 1 John 5:7, as it's rendered in the KJV, was actually added to some earlier manuscripts, right? Modern translators, most modern translations don't have it. It's not there. Why the difference? It only appears in Latin manuscripts from the Middle Ages, not even from antiquity. Everybody understand that? 1 John 5:7, as it's rendered in the KJV, is found in medieval ages, not even antiquity. Probably added by a scribe as a theological clarification, defending the Trinity during doctrinal debates. The earliest manuscripts don't have them. The original Latin Vulgate doesn't have it. The Erasmus First Greek New Testament, from which you get the Textus Receptus, didn't have it. And then it eventually made its way into the Textus Receptus. Why? So it's not in the Latin Vulgate. All right. The earliest manuscripts of the Vulgate, like the Codex, they did not, even up to the 8th century AD, lacked the passage. Later medieval Vulgate copies started around the medieval ages. That's where you see the passage, 1 John 5:7. So we got a problem here. Now, you guys ready to drop a bomb? Put them G's in the chat. Who in the what were you getting ready to say, Hassad?
That King James was not.
Who teaches King James is black?
Most Israelites.
We're not here to condemn anybody. We're not here to condemn anybody. Oh, man. All right. So, watch this aside. All right, y'all. Somebody said King James was black.
The only black King James is LeBron James. All right, King James of the King James Bible is not a black person. We gotta stop. We have to stop. I have to say it. And I don't really care who gets angry. Like, brothers, sisters, please. Not every important figure in history is black, man. You make us look stupid and I cringe when I hear some of this stuff, man. You know, Abraham Lincoln. I've heard Abraham Lincoln was black. William Shakespeare was black. They'll say, Mozart was black, and they'll have a picture. Watch
You
this.
follow him. You follow that.
Can you look? Is there any way you can share your screen and look up Black Mozart? I've heard some of, like, they heard the term Afrocentrism, like the conspiracy theory of a lot of our people. I really do hate it, and they lump up the Hebrew Israelites with that. So they're going to call me a hypocrite. Well, you believe you guys are the real Israelites. There is a balance, and unfortunately, there's way too much on the other side of the spectrum that is completely barnacles. All right. There's a picture. I remember if you look up Black Mozart, let me see. Matter of fact, let me show my camera. Look at this. They'll show a picture. And this is why I hate it so much. It takes 30 seconds of a Google search to just fact check some of these things. Who's ever seen this picture and said, yeah, see, the real Mozart was black? No, idiots. That's an actual guy whose dad is a white person.
Shut your black mouth.
He's biracial. So
you liar.
That's not Mozart, genius. That's not even a picture of Mozart. King James is a white guy. All right. He's a white Anglo-Saxon, much like the Anglo-Saxons. They're white, bro. They're from Western Europe.
Say it again.
I mean, these are people that soon afterwards participated in the transatlantic slave trade. What are we talking about?
When the first slaves came to America, where did they go? What was the name of the town?
Jamestown.
Who knows why it was called Jamestown? This is for they're going to say, well, when the first slaves came to to North America, 1619, they came to Jamestown. Why was it called Jamestown? So
shut up, Joe. I'm gonna. You know what, Chad? I'm gonna be a villain. I'm entering into the Hassad's villain arc. I'm not gonna say the F word on your show, but I'm gonna say just shut up. Most of you guys don't know anything. That's the truth. All right, Hassad, you can't prove it. We're getting ready to prove that King James is in this transatlantic slave trade, idiot. And he's a black person. You people make us look stupid. You people, you guys make us look dumb.
You
guys
follow that.
Stupid. You guys don't understand.
I'm way worse.
So you can't prove King James was white. So then we prove it to you simpletons. And then what? Just shut up. Most of you, I got to just be honest with you. The reason why the Israelites needed a king is because we needed a central authority figure to just tell us what to do, man. Because most of our people, they have to be told what to do. They cannot think for themselves. They need to be spoon-fed information. Be thankful that we have your best interests at heart, and we are going to diligently spoon-feed most of you children this information. Now, you shouldn't just take it for face value. You should research everything that we say. The problem is most of you niggas get on TikTok or whatever YouTube shorts and think that you're some type of a scholar now because you watched 2 hours worth of TikToks. Just shut up, man. Just shut up. And if you're not going to do any research, then just shut up and listen. That's what you should do, and be content that we're going to tell you the truth. Now, get mad at that. Go ahead, Deacon. I'm sorry.
The arrival of the first enslaved Africans in Jamestown, 1619, a Portuguese slave ship named John the Baptist was transporting a large group of captives from West Central Africa, primarily from the Kingdom of Indago, which is now Angola. The ship was attacked by English privateer vessels. The White Lion sailed a point, 20 to 30 captives for food. This marks the first record of arrival of Africans in the English North America. Now, how? King James was the ruler of England at that time. He granted the charter for the Virginia Company of London, which founded and governed Jamestown. Very, very hands-on with the transatlantic slave trade. The White Lion and the Treasurer were privateer ships, essentially state-sanctioned pirates authorized to capture enemy ships in cargo. Although captivity was not yet formally institutionalized in English law, the sale of these Africans began a system that evolved into a race-based captivity over the next few decades.
It's called the transatlantic slave trade. That's what it's called. Idiots. Are we this? Come on, guys. Please. I love my people. Please, can we please raise our IQ a little bit? Just read it. Where's the book? Read!
Hey, read it, reader.
Well, remember that episode of the Boondocks that said, read, nigga, read. What is wrong with some of us, man? I have another. I'm gonna read this from NPS.gov. This isn't some fringe website. Historic Jamestown, the Royal African Company, supplying slaves to Jamestown. As early as 1618, oh, how ironic, 1 year before the slaves got there, King James I had granted a patent to a company that wanted to trade for gold and precious woods in Africa. Other groups also received rights to trade in Africa, but never dealt with slaves in any major way. But his did. English involvement in the slave trade would intensify after 1663 when a new patent was issued to the Company of Royal Adventurers. England had realized the money to be made trading slaves to the West Indies and Virginia. By 1668, over a quarter of the new company's profits was derived from the slave trade. A quarter of the company that King James helped give he granted a patent to were involved in the slave trade. Muppet, what's wrong with you? This is a black person? Well, yeah, see, I can already hear it. Well, Israelites traded other Israelites as slaves. When did we get to Europe to then conquer the indigenous people of Europe? And then what? Now we're kings for 1,000 years? I thought in Luke 21 and 24 it says, and they, the Israelites, shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. But we're overthrowing. Do you know in order for us to take over Europe, we'd have to start a war with them? But we just lost a war to Europe, the Romans. So then we lost a war to the Romans. We lost a war to these niggas. Then not only did we take down the Romans, we took down everybody, all of Europe. And then we just acclimated into unfathomable power. And for whatever reason, we made up a whole new language, English. And then we also made Spanish and Portuguese and French and German. Just shut up. Just be quiet and shut up.
Kahan said, look up Sakari. Did the white man give us the Bible? In there, he teaches King James was black and King James II.
Well, we're not in there anymore. So, hey, you can take that and do what you like with it.
Yeah. But King James 1 and 2 are the same person, just different eras. First of all, just for y'all to know that.
Hold on, there's an echo.
He's got an echo?
Jacob has an echo, yep.
Hold on real quick.
Jacob, do you think King James was black?
I can't hear him yet. Hold on.
What's up, brother? What's up, brother?
Yeah, I can't hear him. What's he saying?
You know what? I'm getting ready to. You know what, you guys? I'm getting ready to. Getting ready. You know what I'm about to say, right, Deacon? I'm gonna say it.
No, I can't hear.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna try. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hear you, brother, and we're gonna get to you in a second. I'm going to try to reason with us, with our people. I'm gonna try, and at the end of me trying, I am gonna give up. Okay, I'm telling you right now. And at that point, you will see. I am an Israelite. But I'm not going to call it. I'm going to say I'm a Jacobite or something. So brother Jacob, speaking of Jacob, King James was undoubtedly black. Okay. What language did King James speak? Why did King James speak English from England if he's black? Okay. The Israelites were in Israel, and they left Israel to go where? To Europe, different parts of Europe, you're positing, right? Took down everybody. Whatever time period you like. So after 70 AD, some Israelites went to...
He should call the phone. Hey, brother, can you call the phone? Tell him to call the phone because it's not letting me get both of you.
He's in England, I think. He's not in America, right? How'd your people get to England? Okay, how'd your people get to the Caribbean? From? Oh, okay. So, all right. Anyway, point. There's a point. But Okay, I'm trying to figure out. So after 70 AD, the Romans expel the Israelites, and they go into different parts of Europe and in different parts of Africa. At what point do they develop the English language? I hate it so much. During the time of the Anglo-Saxons, Anglo-Saxons still exist. Anglo-Saxons are just a specific group of white people in a specific part of Europe. It's like saying during the time. It's like saying that during the time.
Okay, we got him.
French exists.
What do
you mean during the time of the Anglo-Saxons?
Well, the same way Jewish people exist today, but we know emphatically that they're not descendants of the Israelites. So
I'm asking you specifically, what is the time of the Anglo-Saxons?
Well, we know when the Anglo-Saxons came to England was during the 5th century AD, around that time period.
Okay, so in the 5th century, so 500 years after our people leave Israel, for no reason at all, we just invent a new language.
Well, when you do the research into the English language, is a derivative of Hebrew, just like the Irish language too, and the Scottish language.
I'm asking you a question, which that's not true at all. That's not true at all whatsoever. But we can.
Well, I can prove it.
We can address that momentarily. Again, are you saying that just 500 years after we're speaking Hebrew, we came up with an entirely different language? That's what you're saying?
But you're automatically assuming that.
I'm not automatically assuming anything. I'm asking you a question. So again, I'm going to repeat. Are you saying, this is a question, brother. This is a question. Okay, are you saying 500 years, because you said the time of the Anglo-Saxons, which is, I asked you, you said the 5th century. Okay. We got kicked out of Israel 70 AD. So I'm granting 500 years. Really, it's more close to like 400 something years. We'll say 500 years. So 500 years after we get kicked out of our homelands, we go to Europe, and we all just decided, hundreds of thousands of us potentially decided, hey, let's make up a new language. That's what you're saying?
No, not quite. That's not how it worked. No.
How did it work?
But as I said, you automatically have the presupposition that we moved to England from 70 AD. No, that's not how it happened. Because there's such a thing called the Germanic people groups. So the Israelites was already there before 70 AD. That's what
so the Germans are black. So the Germans are black too?
Absolutely.
Man, Deacon, do you want to deal with this? I hate this. I detest it. Like whatever word.
Well, you're not asking for any type of empirical data. So how do you expect me to prove my thesis if you're not asking for anything?
What source do you have, and what time period from that source that says
all
the
you
Germans
need to do,
are black?
Well, the Germans forget the Germans for now, right? Because the subject matter is regarding King King James VI. There's contemporary accounts that describes King James as a ruddy complexion man. Why is he described as ruddy complexion?
Does ruddy in English mean the same thing as ruddy in Hebrew?
Oh, so now we're gonna play the semantic game. Okay.
He speaks English, genius. Yes, we're gonna play this. It's not a semantic game. It's semantics. They're speaking English. What are you talking about? He's King James of Scotland, of England.
Okay, we can pull up an English dictionary from that time period right now, where it says ruddy implies someone of a reddish brownish hue. Like it's that easy. It's not that hard.
Reddish brownish hue.
And why was his grand? Because he had a grand. Okay, go ahead. Because he also had a grandson, King Charles II. He was described as a black complexion man. Why is this the case?
That is the stupidest logic I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, because you can't.
Here's why. You having a grandson who is one color is not empirical data on what color you were. For example, I have a white mother. My great-grandfather on my mother's side is a straight-up white man. He would imagine if somebody wrote a biography about him and said, yeah, well, he had a great-grandson named Hassan, and he's black, so hey, maybe he's black. This is ridiculous. This is the worst scholarship I've ever seen in my entire life, and we have to do better, or everyone's going to look at us like we're stupid.
Well, I can do you one better then. His son was described as brown complexion.
Brown? Okay. What type of brown?
Well, come on, bro. Let's not do this. We know what Brown is talking
This
about.
is like this. There's no linguistic connection. There's no like migrational connection. There's no DNA connect. There's like nothing. There's just this obscure. Well, you know, his great grandson was called Black, right? Well, you know, this is not respected in any field of scholarship at all. This is just conjecture with no merit, no backing whatsoever. That's all.
No,
this
it's not. It's not conjecture at all. You can look into the contemporary accounts. It's not that difficult. And you can even look into certain portraits and statues. Let's not do that.
Certain portraits.
Because right now it doesn't seem like you're. What's that?
Let's look at a portrait of King James.
Yeah, go ahead.
And
Go ahead and look up the white.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
If of course, if you're gonna go on Google Images right now, they're gonna show whitewash depictions.
What's the whitewashed one? Or sorry, what's the original one?
The engravings.
Huh?
I mean, you can look up the engravings. There's certain engravings that clearly depict him as a black man.
Yeah, let's see it.
I mean, how am I supposed to show you?
Send the link. Tell us what to look up. We'll look it up for you.
I mean, you can't go on my Instagram page.
Instagram page is going to show an engraving of King James.
Yeah, just type in Unfiltered History 144.
All right.
So, and while we're doing this, everybody, he said it's not the way things worked totally, but somehow, some way. So German. That's black people came up with that?
Well, it's not that hard because we're special people.
So, everybody, here's what he's saying. Nigga, we spoke Hebrew. Okay, we spoke Hebrew. God gave us that language, essentially. And for whatever reason, a large amount of us moved to Europe, where some of us decided to speak Spanish. Some of us decided to speak whatever language they speak in Ireland. I can't remember, like Gaelic or something. Some of us decided to speak Swedish. Some of us decided to speak German for no reason. Ironically, there are Europeans today that exist whose ancestors have been speaking that language for hundreds of years. There's no apparently connection with them, but somehow it is with us. This is so dumb, man. This is just.
Well, of course, no one's negating the fact that white people was there. White people, of course, was there, but they just wasn't the ruling class.
They weren't the ruling class. So then why do they put our black ass in slavery? How do they have the power to do that?
All right. So here goes the picture of King James. These are primary sources. Which ones do we go to? This is AI generated, bro.
AI.
You'd have to
get out of here, man.
No.
You'd have to scroll all the way down, of course. Let's be sincere about the information.
Okay, let's see. Where are we going? How far are we going?
If you scroll all the way down, let me give you a date. Give me a sec. You can go to the 16th of July 2024. So it's not, you don't have to scroll far down. It's just
okay. That's fine.
It's not that far down.
So we're about to see a carving of King James.
Well, this one specifically would be an engraving, and there's even one which shows him and his father, Lord Darnley.
Okay.
Well, matter of fact, you can check the one that's dated from the 25th of June 2024.
June 25th of 2024.
Yeah.
This right here.
Correct. Which one is it? Let me see. Yeah, correct.
Doesn't look black to me on the left. Sorry.
Yeah, you think that's a black man? Buddy.
I mean, if that's not a black man, then that's your opinion.
Opinion. See, why do we have so? Oh my God, we have even though this is not a perfect science, but it's ironic. There is merit to DNA, not totally, but you can put without entering into your information where your family's from. You can take a cotton swab, give them some of your saliva, And every white person's DNA is ironically going to go right back to ancient Europe or to Europe. It's going to happen. But you're saying, well, look at this picture. Doesn't this look like a black guy?
Well, no,
It's funny black mouth.
I mean, it's funny that you specifically want
He
to.
has straight hair, bro. He has straight hair.
It's ironic that you specifically want to single out the person on the left, but the person on the right clearly looks black. Like, let's keep it on.
Hold on. First of all, the person on the left is King James. That's what we're dealing with. We'll deal with
course, but
on the right.
His father. Hold
on.
The person on the right.
That guy on the left has straight hair, bro.
Yes, because they used to relax their hair.
Oh.
What about his beard? I mean, his mustache.
What about it?
What about it? What do you mean? What about it?
You guys know full well that his father on the right looks like a black man.
Wait, this is his father? That looks like a woman with her eyebrows done.
Henry Lord, let's take a look.
So now we're gonna play. Now we're gonna joke around.
It does. So when is this picture from?
Even some certain people in the comments are saying that they look black. So is it really is a matter of opinion?
No, what year is this from? It says 1884.
No, the engraving. Both are contemporary engravings from their lifetime. You can search up. It's located in the National Gallery
and
Museum.
Modern Britons, volume.
Oh, that's old. Yeah, that's just the source in regards to the Scots, because they were of Scottish origin. So I just put that to substantiate the facts.
Oh wow! Can I can't share my screen, can I?
You can.
Oh really? This is gonna get really interesting. So let's look at a contemporary person with this guy. Hold on. Let me just double check this. I don't want to be pseudo. Okay. He was born in 1546, died in 1567. Hans Ensworth. Let me take a look at something. When did Hans Ensworth live? In the mid 16th century. Oh, wow. Okie dokie. All right. So let's share my screen. This is Henry Stuart Lord Darnley.
Let me get it. Okay, wait. Let me turn mine's off, and then boom. All right.
Henry Stuart Lord Darnley. Right. It says Darnley had one child with Mary, King James of Scotland, right? Here's King James. Now, here's one picture of him. It didn't give me, it's by an unknown artist, so I don't know the date. But we do have this picture of him. Lord Darnley, aged about 9, by Hans Ensworth. Who's Hans Ensworth? Hans Ensworth was a Flemish painter active in England in the mid-16th century, right around the time where this guy was born. This is someone who's contemporary with him. And let's go back to that picture. Is this a black man to you? He's a ginger. He's a ginger with green eyes.
Well, of course. Well, let's not act like we're not aware of the whitewashing that they implemented during specific time.
No. This is a contemporary drawing of this guy. There is no whitewashing of him. This is the actual painting from when he lived. Allegedly. Have fun, Deacon, because I mean,
of course, it's alleged.
Whatever you like. Listen, you know what, bro? King James is black. Nigga, Martian the Manhunter's black too. Everyone's black.
So, how do you feel? We'll ask this question on the way.
It's clear that
this last question. How do you feel about King James being the first one to, authorize the kidnapping of our people, or his own people, and then bringing them to basically starting the transatlantic slave trade?
It was a very wicked thing that he did.
Okay.
It was very unscrupulous.
Who converted him to Christianity?
He converted him to Christianity.
Yeah, who converted King James to Christianity?
I mean, he was raised. He was raised a Christian.
Okay. And you're saying that this is a guy right here, Henry Lord? This looks like an androgynous person.
I mean, yeah, he was a feminine. He had a feminine disposition.
He had a feminine disposition.
Well, But
these Negro
you
lips?
guys are.
Right.
Are these
come
Negro
on.
lips?
Come on, bro.
It's a
You
question.
guys are.
This is the what I'm saying.
Does
We have
any
to
of
ask
these people
this
have
question
Negro lips?
because of your ridiculous level of scholarship. You did this.
And
Shut
does the
your
brother
black
Sark have Negro
mouth.
lips?
You said
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
And watch this. Watch this. You just
are
cut
those
yourself.
Negro ears?
Watch this.
Is that a Negro pie?
Even if I didn't have Negro lips, that would be directly because of my white mother. So giving further evidence that this person's white.
Oh, but you're trying to show me his whitewash depiction and
Oh.
tell me and ask me if he has Negro lips. Now, come on.
All right. Well, so you believe that how many other black kings were ruling during the time of King James?
I mean, predominantly most of Europe was presided over a black monarchy.
Most of Europe was black.
I mean, you can
As far as the monarchy,
yeah,
the monarchs.
go. You can go on Google, right, and you can type in the Incas kings list, and you can see the Spanish monarchy in the bottom on the bottom of the Incas kings list, and you can see Charles V and his son Philip II depicted as black men.
Why did I just find ones? Oh, that's. I mean, no, you're right. I'm sorry, Deacon. You deal with this because I'm not. Everyone's saying that I'm rude.
It's located at the Lima
Assad
Lima
is
Museum
being
in
rude.
Peru.
Put a G in the chat if Assad is being rude.
But it's so. You know what's so sad about this is I used to believe this.
No,
You know why?
that's fine.
I believed it because it was told to me, and I was young. And instead of me, because I wouldn't think of brothers teaching me that, and I don't think that they were insincere, but I don't think they would lie to me. So I'm like, wow, this brother must be a great scholar. All it takes is literally 2 minutes of research. That's all you have to do, everyone, is do 2 minutes of research, and then you find out that this is emphatically incorrect.
All right.
It's wrong.
Here's a question, brother. Where on this relic does it say that this is King James? Hold on, wait, where's he at? I think he dropped off. Jacob. Come back on, brother. Are you still there, bro, in the chat? All right, let's see. Oh, there you go. All right, can you hear me? I hear you. So, where on this relic does it say that this is King James? Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Where on here does it say that this is King James?
I can't quite. Give me a second. I need to see your screen first. Hold on.
The one, the post that you posted that you said it looks like a Negro.
Oh, you can search up at the National Gallery Museum on the website.
On the website, it says this is King James.
Yeah, the National Gallery Museum.
Okay. The National Gallery Museum.
Correct.
Did you belch, mate?
What's that?
All right, is it this right here, the nga.gov?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, let's see. Just type in King James.
Yeah, that should do the trick.
King James. Here goes one right here. What is this? And it's an engraving.
Yeah, can't see your screen.
Oh, my bad. Boom.
I can't see it. Let's see. That is a black person to you, bro?
I can't see your screen, bro.
It's a white guy. It's a white guy on the screen. There's a white man on the screen.
So it says King James 1. And then here's another one, King James 1. Then here is James King of Scots.
Well, yeah, the large majority of them are going to be altered and whitewashed. I mean, that's...
Those are not whitewashed, bro. Those
and you can prove it how?
Well, let's try to find a black one.
Those are the original writings, bro. Those are the original depictions of him.
That's what... The same way mainstream academia said that the ancient Egyptians were Arabs and white.
Okay, so
mainstream academia does not say the ancient Egyptians were Arabs.
Wait, yes, but hold on. Wait,
no,
real quick. Brother, on this...
is that a seal? Is that his seal?
On the site that you gave us, every depiction from his time period is white. And so you're saying that on this same site, there's one black one?
Yes, because they give you tidbits of information here and there.
Oh my God! So they whitewashed it, but they wanted. Okay. I understand everybody. So they whitewashed all.
But they wanted us to find the one black one.
Right. Just so that you can pick a link and prove to everybody that King James is black. They didn't do a thorough job of it. They purposely let one image slip through the cracks on purpose.
I mean, if you really wanna go back and forth on this properly, then I can show you all the empirical data I have, which proves emphatically. But I can't prove anything to you guys right now because I don't have all the empirical data.
But you told me I don't have all the evidence available. You gave me a website. And look at his genealogy, his progeny, the royal progeny of King James. Look at this. This is from 1619, bro. Benjamin Wright. That's a family of crackers.
They're literally crackers. They enslaved us.
I mean, if you go and search up, if you go on Google and you search up images of the Israelites, what are they going to show you?
Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference, Brother Jacob. We're searching up contemporary imagery.
Yes, what they allege to be contemporary. You guys call the white man the devil, but you don't think he's capable of doing things like this. Let's be honest.
Okay, but the point that you made is, if we Google Israelites, we're not Googling King James. We're going to contemporary imagery of him.
I understand.
And you're saying that this is 100% fabricated.
Yes, because the portraits that you see online and these different museums, it doesn't align with how he was described by contemporaries. This is what I'm talking about. Because the same way you guys are searching alleged contemporary portraits is the same way that I can pull up contemporary descriptions of how
I didn't search a damn thing. You told me to go to this website. You did this. Yes. You did this.
Jacob, are you telling me the people in Iceland are the people in Iceland, the original people of Iceland, are they black too?
I'm not sure about Iceland. I don't.
Oh, we're not sure about Iceland. What about Norway?
Oh yeah, the Vikings were black for sure.
Oh, just get.
I mean, they were called. Why were they called black Gentiles by the Irish?
What?
They were called black Gentiles by the Irish.
If in fact they were called black Gentiles by the Irish, which I seriously doubt, it would more than likely be a racial epithet because they associated Vikings with savagery and black people with savagery, therefore calling the Vikings black Gentiles. That's a pretty simple explanation for it.
That's conjecture.
Like, this is so weird. The Vikings are black.
Hassad, with all due respect, that's conjecture. You haven't searched up, so you're just.
Were the original samurais black too?
I don't know about the samurais. I haven't researched the samurais.
I'm not sure about the samurais. Was Alexander the Great black?
He was mixed.
Was he mixed with black?
Absolutely. And I can show you an image of Alexander the Great.
I'm gonna say something wild.
I mean, if you want to be disrespectful, that's your prerogative. But I'm just dealing.
I don't want to be disrespectful. So Alexander the Great looks something like me.
Yeah, with thicker lips.
Yeah.
And a broken nose off the statue.
And a broken.
Yeah. just like the Egyptians.
Just like the Egyptians.
But I mean, you already have your presupposition, so it's fine.
I don't have a presupposition.
You do have a presupposition.
No, I have a position that is not presupposed. It's pre-learned. It's pre-studied. You have a presupposition because
no, I don't have a presupposition.
Theology is.
I don't have a presup because when I first came into the faith, I had a presupposition that Alexander the Macedonian was white. Then when I further investigated, I found out that he was mixed race. It's just upon further research, that just like how you guys have been doing further research and been establishing great understanding doctrine-wise, the same way I've come to understand this historically.
The Vikings were black. Was Napoleon black?
He had black ancestry, but no, he wasn't what you would consider a black man. No.
What about the man from Germany who liked to put people in the toaster? Was he black?
The man from Germany? Oh no, hell no.
What about the rest of the Germans?
The Germans that were black were the ones from the 1500s. I'm not talking about the Nazis.
Where did they go?
I mean, they got killed off and they immigrated to different places.
Where? Name a place they went.
In the Western Hemisphere.
So in 1500 they got on a boat and went to America?
No, not the 1500s specifically, but you know what I'm talking about. When immigration started to happen from Europe to America, you had black people among the Europeans that was immigrating to America. That's what I'm talking about.
Please don't tell people this.
I have a whole book about.
So when the Bible says that we would be under these curses, how do you reconcile that with saying that we were having all these royal families, but we would be under the curses? I guess you could say, I'll answer that question for myself. I guess you could say, a couple of us can slip through the cracks, basically.
No,
the royal family is a couple slip cracks.
I mean, during that time period, they were subject to the curses to a certain degree because they were fighting amongst themselves and they were subject to different diseases and all these different things. So they was subject to the curses to a degree. They were worshiping idols. They were Catholics. They were Muslims.
Yeah, that's true.
It says in Jeremiah 20:43, the stranger that is amongst you shall get up above you very high, and you shall come down very low. You're saying for 1,000 years, we ruled an entire continent. That is not under a curse, sir.
Hence why I said they were subject to certain curses, not all of them. That's my point. So if is where it is, that's my belief through research and historical evidence. So
yeah, it's your belief. That's all it is. It is a belief.
I do want to thank you though for giving me this website to prove that King James is actually an Edomite. So I do want to thank you for that.
I mean, Deacon, if you're sincere about getting the true information about our rulership in Europe, then I can DM you the information. I don't think Hassan's already persuaded his own man, so that's fine.
No, I believe, for the record, I believe that we did have some rulership in certain areas. I don't believe we ruled all of Europe. I believe that we were a part of the Moors, but the Moors weren't all Israelites. Historians say that those are dark Arabs, Hamites, and Israelites. So I do believe we did have some power, but I don't believe King James was black, and I don't believe we had 1,000 years of hegemony in Europe.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But all right, brother, I'm gonna get to these other. Somebody left a super chat. Let me get to this question. We appreciate you, and send me any information that you want. I'm not saying that we weren't over there and we couldn't have made it to some high positions, but I just don't believe King James was our people.
Nah, bro, no problem.
But yeah, send me some information. Send me some like something that you believe is valid, something that would hold some weight.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
All right, bro. Peace out.
Peace, bro.
Okay, somebody told me to look up somebody named Nigger Val Dub.
Hey, Google this. Like, that's our best. Google. Hey, Google this. Yes, I will. You know, next time I'll give you the real. I'll give you the real shit. Next time. Next time when I go, like, come on, man. Why? Why does he have to be black? Why can't we just accept that he's not? White people have been living and occupying Europe for.
But this is
1,000 years, man.
This one site says this, but is there a site outside of this African source? I need to get an independent. V-Dub, I can't let you talk about my mans like that, man. Come on, bro. Come on here and talk to Hassad. Hassad, they say you're acting like a diva. Which Bible should we read?
You know what? I'm at a point in my life, and I'm getting ready to say it. I just don't care what black people think anymore. I just don't care, man. I'm like, what? So you care what white people think? No, I don't care what nobody thinks.
I'm just black mouth.
I've just heard enough. I'm at my wit's end. I've heard enough. Clip that. Do what you like with it. I'm done hearing it. I'm just done hearing it.
Okay, so to the brother's question about Nigger Val Dub, I only see one African source about it. Is it Kenneth the Nigger?
Why would they bro? You know what's ironic? They have, what is it? The reasonable. Look up, Deacon. Look up the reasonable black man. Watch this. Look up reasonable black man.
King Kenneth Dub, Black King of Scotland. Is there any sources outside of this though that can verify?
Keep that figurine, Black Scott. And for the record, I'm not denying that there were black people in these areas. They certainly were. As scarce as they were there. Europe is not far from Africa. Certain parts of North Africa, for example, like Algeria, is separated by Spain, just short little trip. So we're not saying that they didn't exist at all.
Dark or black? Sometimes this form was used in older histories. Okay, so they're saying that his name. So they're saying that his name meant black. But now here's the thing. No, we got to be honest with this. We got to be honest about this. His name meant black. But does it say his ancestry goes back to Africa, Israel, a Jew? Because you can have names today, Jack Black.
Right.
Jack Black he's not black. But that's a good start. You got, okay, well, he had black in his name. But what about his ancestry?
There's black people with the last name White or Green. Is Draymond Green? Green? No. Look up real quick if you could. There's the reasonable black man. It's a real picture of a brother that lived in England.
What is his name?
Reasonable black man. That's what his name. I'm dead serious. His name was John Reason.
Yeah, what about him?
Look up a picture of him. Right. So you go there, look at this. So here's more, since people want to look stuff up. Reasonable black man, I'll just read it. Reasonable black man, what also possibly known as John Reason and Reasonable Blackamoor, was a silk weaver resident in London in the late 16th century. Oh, interesting. Not too far apart from King James. He was among the earliest people of African heritage to be living and working as an independent business owner in London in that era. He may have come to London via the Netherlands, which had a relatively significant African population at the time, and also a significant trade in silk. The reason I bring this up is there was not that many black people in this area. So little to the fact that they actually highlighted this guy named John Reason as a black person that lived there. If King James and all the royal family and all these people were black, they wouldn't have the need to isolate this one guy, John Reason. I think that's pretty simple.
I think the more important thing is did King James authorize his 70 scholars to add Christian dogma and rhetoric into the scriptures? And the answer is yes, we proved that emphatically. So go back and watch the video. That's the more important thing. All right, y'all. So everybody hit the like button on the way out. Big G's, not the little ones, y'all. And everybody pray that Hassad has a better day. You know what I mean? Bro said Alexander was black. It's crazy. Alexander the Greek was black. All right, y'all. Peace, blessings, and Kwam Yasharala.
I'm way worse.